want to shift gears. We'll get into some other subjects later. Into now what really happened in Belize.
The problem is when they raided my property on March the 2nd, this was the result of my refusing to pay a bribe to the local politician. And then the politician came back, the next week saying, "Oh, this is what a terrible thing to happen. I am so sorry. They shot your dog. They destroyed your property. This is so terrible. Have you reconsidered your donation?" Yeah, I basically threw him off my property and went to the international press. I also donated a whole bunch of computers to the Belizean government that had keystroke locking software and software that I had put on there.
Classic Trojan horse.
Classic Trojan horse. I was hoping just to find out hard evidence that they had planned this whole thing just to force me to pay the money. What I found out was far worse. I found out that they were selling passports. I found out that almost all of the government ministers were involved in some kind of nefarious and illegal activities. And it just went from bad to worse. The people who were with me and has verified everything that I've said. Then when Greg Fall was murdered in November, which I firmly believe now was an act of the government, they came after me for real, but not just at night, but during the day. For an entire month before the Greg Fall murder, they were trying to collect me at night. I was finding out about it because I was listening to them. I was watching them through their computers. And they never could catch me because when they would show up, I'd be somewhere else. Here's what I'm trying to do, Alex. I'm trying to, number one, stay alive. The only thing that I have to bargain with is those recordings. The thing that I am attempting to do is to make the public aware that this is actually happening without providing enough evidence to put everybody away. I mean, there are a few people that need to be put away.
But how does that tie into the ricin poison and the Iranians? Because you did say that 6 months before, it ended up coming out separate from you in the news there.
Right.
And it has come out you really did have all these, however many computers it was, that you'd handed out to all the police, the federal police there. How many computers was it total? And where's the whole ricin situation going?
It was a little over 80 computers total. The ricin situation, I don't want to discuss it at the current moment for security reasons, and I can discuss everything else, the passports, because really it all folds in. There's a huge operation in Belize, and it's getting unraveled as we speak. The Minister of Immigration, a guy named Penner, was just removed from office for selling over 150 passports, one of which was to a Korean who was in prison at the time and had never been to Belize. So this is how bad it gets. And Penner has been prosecuted. He hasn't been investigated. They're just letting it all slide.
Now, look, you did do black project stuff for the government previous to McAfee.
I did. I worked for Lockheed on a black program.
But what's the secret? Because this does sound spy-esque, CIA, defense intelligence, or corporate stuff down in Belize. I mean, were they using you as a double agent? Is there a whole nother story to this we don't know about?
Trust me, if I were a double agent, would I be on your program? I mean, I would walk out the door and it would be the U.S. government that would whack me, not the cartel.
No. I understand that.
But no, believe me, I am not affiliated. I'm not a part of any U.S. government covert operation.
No, what I'm saying, you're evading them, all the things you did, the Trojan horse computers, everything. I mean, that's real James Bond stuff.
I'm one man. I'm on my own. And by hiring, a few out of work, young men and women, I was able to infiltrate every branch of the Belizean government. Admittedly, Belize is
not the whole country.
Well, former spy masters like Dr. Steve Pachinik, they've told me the system is scared of lone men.
Yes, because we are unpredictable. I have given this man internal documents, internal memos from Belize, which are absolutely.
Well, tell us what you can tell us about your findings that are going to be rolling out and are already on your site.
Okay, the biggest thing that I discovered, and the biggest thing they're trying to cover up, is the selling of passports and the bringing of questionable people into America through a very complex route. You can let's say I'm Iranian or from Pakistan, and I want a new identity. I can come to Belize and pay anywhere from $150,000 to $500,000. I get a new identity, usually from someone who's died. With that passport, I am free to move throughout all of Central America. And so to get into America, if I want to do it, unbeknownst to America, I wander up to the southern border and get a mule to bring me across. And the cartels help with that. That's public knowledge. I mean, you've seen many reports in Belize where this is actually happening. The Belizeans know, but nobody else in the world is reading the reports. No one else even cares, it seems. Well, certainly they know who they are. The Treasury Department keeps, for example, an organization chart of like the Sinaloa cartel, all the cartels, the Medellins.
Because we had the head Iranian general say last month, we have sleeper cells in America.
Yes.
And we will attack you in asymmetrical warfare.
Yes, absolutely. And where do you think these sleeper cells are coming from? They don't fly in.
But you said a year ago on my show, you said Iranian sleeper cells are coming through with ricin, and now you don't want to talk about it.
Well, forget the ricin. They are coming through, and they have more than just ricin, Alex. There's all kinds of things that they are bringing with them. I can't talk about the ricin right now. I'm very sorry that I can't. I am sort of fighting for my life. I
understand. Yeah.
I am dancing a very delicate dance.
You've already got cartels after you. You don't want the Iranians after you.
I don't want the Iranians after me, sir. Okay, but forget that part. We still have the importing into America of foreigners with questionable motives on a mass scale. We have this one man selling 150 passports in a very brief period of time. I mean, it's astonishing. And these 150 were just the 150 that were discovered. You know that it's much more than this. So this is a serious problem. No one's talking about it. It's public knowledge everywhere else in the world. Public knowledge. But here in the States, it's like, well, let's not talk about this.
John Casaretto, investigative journalist.
Why isn't anybody talking about this thing? Why isn't anybody talking about, the way these agencies are operating and pretty much neglecting, the security of this country at the border? And these guys are, it's very similar to the app. You have a passport, you can pretty much walk over the border and come into the country, and do whatever it is that you do in this country. If you allow it to happen, then it's wide open. We're
being told, give all our rights up because terrorists are everywhere, and they leave the doors basically wide open.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And nobody wants to report it because it's hurtful. It's hurtful to the image that we're strong and we're secure. And, I think that people should start talking about this thing, particularly in this case where there's evidence that shows there's a country, not that far away from here that's selling passports, that, there's been incidents of Chinese nationals, of people of Middle Eastern descent showing up and showing up, being apprehended. And it turns out that their passports are fake, and they're Belizean.
And yet, that is all over Central America. But here in the States, we have no reports of that. You have to actually go in and dig into the old copies of Mexican and Belizean newspapers to find instances of Hezbollah that were actually arrested in Mexico with Belizean passports, with European names, Mike Smith and Terry Jones. It's absurd. And yet here in America, do you read about it? Is it in the New York Times? Is it in the Wall Street Journal? Is it in the local paper here in Austin?
That in Press TV, the official Iranian news, their chairman of their Joint Chiefs, their head guy said, we have sleeper cells, we have asymmetrical warfare, we can strike America inside. That was an outrageous statement. It didn't even get picked up in the U.S. news. But they're not talking about it. It's like every time there's real terror threat, they won't discuss it.
We need to be smarter about the situation that we're in. It's kind of like we're being swallowed by the snake, and we're fiddling and dancing. We need to be aware of what's happening. If we're not, then there is no hope, is there? Well, I think the world will have to decide whether I'm for real. And it's why I allowed John to come and spend 3 days pouring through a mountain of government internal memos for release and conversations to find, so that he could find it for himself without me having to explain it to him.
The bottom line is John's always gotten kind of this rap, like it's always this air of, wanted for murder, wanted for murder. Well, he's never been officially, nobody's ever said he's wanted for murder. They want to ask him questions. Why? Because they want to bring him back down there. They want him back down there so they can do what they're going to do. And as John reports, as John states, they want him gone. So the attack on your life, I think we should talk about, Portland.
Basically, here's what happened. A report came out in an Irish newspaper that John McAfee had died of a drug overdose in a Las Vegas hotel. They even named the doctor.
I saw that.
But believe me, the information that I have will bring down the entire Belizean government. They know this, and this is why they are so desperate to silence me. It's too late to silence me. What happened was, first of all, the first clue, and it should have occurred to me at that time, was there was a report of my death. Okay, John McAfee died of a drug overdose. And I got a call at 8 o'clock in the morning from a friend, and they were in tears. Within 12 hours, my security guards get arrested mysteriously. 12 hours later, at 2:15 in the morning on the 12th of September, and I was up because I was anticipating. I have contacts still within the government. I was anticipating. I didn't know the exact date, but I knew it was coming soon. I was up and watching it. 2:15. 2 police motorcycles. Now, this is at night where police do not really use their motorcycles after dark. 2 police motorcycles followed by a sedan full of plainclothes people, followed by a garbage truck, the compressing variety.
They were going to put you in that.
Maybe. I have no clue. But they pulled up right in front of my condo, and there is no back exit. There is only one exit, and that is through the front. I ran and I grabbed my wife. We ran downstairs to the garage. I wanted to hide in the trash bins, the big things, thinking maybe we'd be safe. My wife refused. We climbed up on the second floor, hid under a car, both of us together, for 5 hours. We were not under there for a minute before we heard the running up and down the stairs and excited voices, and then they came into the garage, but very stealthily. They looked into the garbage room. You know, I'm rumored to be armed and dangerous, and I think they didn't want to just open the thing. They were talking. We could hear them talking. And they were there for about an hour before the garage truck came in. The garbage truck came into the garage. They rolled the bins, they lifted up, dumped it, compressed it, both bins, and drove off. We waited 2 hours till after everybody had gone. We ran and got our things, and we left, and we haven't been back.
But they're coming to kill you.
May have been real cops, okay?
That's what you told me right after it happened. You said, might have been cops with a warrant. How did you know? Yeah,
cops with a warrant do not try to compress you in a garbage truck. And you don't show up at 2:15 in the morning.
And it wasn't garbage day either.
And it was not garbage day.
They didn't get everybody else's garbage.
They didn't get it, yeah. So it was not garbage day. And then
I got to say, that does sound like how those hits work. Is they want it all official, covered up.
Right.
You hire the cops.
And the reason that that was,
you know, and you can't get the cops to take part in a hit in every city. I know you can in Houston.
I think you can in every city, but certainly the cops were part of it. These were legitimate cops on legitimate motorcycles. Sure. All right.
Well, you know the big thing. Most hitmen are cops. I mean, in major cities.
That is true. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think in almost all cities you find this. But
general public doesn't know.
I think the reason that they put out a report that I was dead is so that everybody's going, oh my God, McAfee died. And McAfee says, no, that's not true. So if McAfee does disappear the next day, no big deal. They're not going to pay much attention.
No, that's how they do it. It just creates confusion.
It creates confusion, and therefore people don't pay much mind to it. Because really, if I were just to disappear out of the clear blue sky, people are going to talk. But if the day before there was a big article saying I had died and of a drug overdose.
You're really smart. I mean, obviously you're a smart guy. I've been told by high-level Army officers that when I see these stories that I've been killed or disappeared, that's when I've got to be careful because they'll do that right before they disappear me.
You've actually heard that?
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, and I've had family that worked in black ops. And in the muscle end of things, and they told me that.
No one told me. I just figured it out. Really?
Well,
there's some verification.
Oh no, that's definitely true.
I can believe you as much as you can believe me.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The country of Belize, for the first time in that country's history, traveled abroad to what city? Portland, where John McAfee is living.
To play soccer.
To play soccer in a soccer game. And the team is like, part-time carpenters.
Yeah, it's not even a real team.
Yeah.
They lost to the U.S. 6-0. They had no chance at all.
I think it was 6-1.
And this is the first time. Now, why would they come to Portland, Oregon, where I'm living? Get real. And this was 2 months before the hit, or the attempted hit.
Right. Undoubtedly, though, them coming to these people that came to your place, that is amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
And now you're in an armored redoubt.
I am in a location where I can guarantee you no one is going to get close to me. So, and I am angry. I've stopped being afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I am pissed off. I swear, I am pissed off. Just come for me. That's the attitude I have. I know that's nonsense, and I know
that's my attitude.
Then we needed to go and talk to somebody live, and I said, Alex Jones. He said, why Alex Jones? I said, number one, he's a friend, and number two, he has an extraordinarily loyal listener base. And what we need are people that will believe us, and we'll get this story out.
I mean, I've got to point out, you were in Belize on the run, and the 2 interviews you did because your friend told you to do it.
I'm putting my own life on the line here because without freedom, we don't have a life. What I want to say is, everybody out there, take responsibility for the technology that you own. and realize that the risks that you're putting yourself under by not being aware of all of these risks. Yeah, I'm not sure what makes me tick. I care about people. I care about relationships. I love a lot, and if you love, you get hurt, and I'm willing to risk all those things.